So it is written, and so it shall be on this day, the first day of October, the year of our Lord 2017, a Rebootleggers podcast episode shall be recorded.
It is spoken.
Hey everybody, this is Rebootleggers, an episode... Nope. This is a comedy podcast. There we go.
Well, this is an episode of the comedy podcast.
Welcome back to Rebootleggers. I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sura.
And the two of us together fulfill the prophecies foretold thousands of years ago by rebooting what was written down must be rebooted on these days. When you came in, you heard us reading a passage from the said book of prophecies. I think it's called the...
You're in too deep.
Yeah, I'm in way too deep.
We tried it. We tried something. And that's all you need to do is try. Right? That's what my mom told me.
Yeah, it's true. You just got to try something and they will come. Do what you love and the money will come. And so this week, doing what we love involves rebooting a popular show about money, sex, drugs.
Ooh. Different order, same topic.
Lies and advertising.
Deceit. And yours was more important.
Talking about Mad Men.
Mad Men, an AMC TV series which has been concluded some number of years now, right?
Oh, yes. It ended in 2015, the year of our Lord.
So soon. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it ran for...
Like 8 years?
7 years. It's 7 seasons, but technically only 6 seasons because they split the last season in half like they did for Breaking Bad and Harry Potter and Hunger Games as just a let's milk this.
The Hobbit.
And The Hobbit, which they split into thirds.
Welcome to Split Talk, where we talk about movies that got split up.
What are other things that got split up? Those are all the ones that I know.
That's really all I can think of.
I mean, I guess they're kind of doing it for Game of Thrones. Instead of giving a full season for the last season, they're doing like 2 3/4 seasons.
Dude, they're doing that for Voltron Legendary Defender too. They're putting out 2 half seasons a year instead of 1 season.
Yeah, and I'm like, just give me that stuff.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna blast through it, right? So like, don't make me do it twice.
Yeah, don't give me the equivalent of like a movie.
Thank you for listening to Split Talk, a podcast that's a sub-podcast Rebootleggers, but now we're going to return to the original show.
Didn't you literally just make this joke?
Yeah, well, I was end capping it because now it's over.
You said thank you. No, I understand.
Because we went into Split Talk.
Yeah, so...
And then we bounced back out of Split Talk, 1 level back up, and now we're back in Rebootleggers.
Frank, what do you know about Mad Men? And before we get it too deep into this, I'm going to say... Spoiler warning for sure. I'm going to get into the deep spoilers. And so if you have not watched this show and have an intention of watching it and care about spoilers, I guess I don't want you to stop listening because I like you here.
Yeah, so keep listening, but just,
forget everything you hear when it's done, I guess.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Get that chloroform
how
ready.
When you're tasting really fancy wine, you have the spit bucket?
Yeah, just
it's like that, but for your brain.
Yeah.
You want to let it dish around, and then you just want to...
Exactly. So if you could figure out how to do that with your memories, that'd be perfect. So Frank, what do you know about Mad Men?
So I know that Don Draper's John Hamm in a dramatic role.
It is John Hamm's big break, you could say.
Yeah. I know that he did famous for it. He's an advertising man at a fake ad agency, right? It's not about a real one.
Correct.
They don't use a real name in the 60s, and it's about Lucky Strike cigarettes and drinking whiskey and
a lot of drinking.
None of the
whiskey.
cars have seat belts.
Yes, all of these things. So it's about one Donald Draper who works at an ad agency called Sterling Cooper.
And they're like the best, right? Is the thing?
They're good. They have like competing ones, but yeah, Don is like the best, but he's also an asshole.
Oh,
But he's like kind of a
isn't that
good
the story?
man, kind of.
So it's like they need to know like Marlboro cigarettes needs to know like how to get kids to smoke, and then he's like, "Give me a minute," and then he goes out and he like drinks a whole bottle of whiskey and he like smokes a whole pack of cigarettes, and then he like drives to a bar and robs it, and then he comes back and he goes, "I have an idea. Let's get a poster with boobs on it."
No, not quite, but similar. Don, the thing that Don's good at, so his thing is he's good at I think he's in charge of copy. He like comes up with the slogans. Yeah, and so it starts out because it starts out in the early 60s, and it's they're doing all magazine ads and stuff, like print ads, and then halfway through
so back it up a little bit. He drinks a bottle of whiskey, he smokes a pack of cigarettes, he goes and he robs a bank, and he walks back with his guns. He walks back into the office and he says, "Here's a slogan."
Still
fresh.
no. Sometimes he does. Still no. Sometimes he does show, like he does come up with the entire ad concept, not just the slogans. But then halfway through the show, they start doing like TV ads and stuff because TV is a thing that they embrace.
Okay.
They start coming up with that. But so it deals with a lot of the issues of that time, like civil rights and hippies and the Vietnam War, which Don is, or Korean War. Sorry, Korean War.
Which Don is in.
He was. So here's the thing that you learn about Don early. It's that he is not Don Draper. He is his real name is Dick Whitman. And
it's pretty obvious why he changed it.
And he was, so in the Korean War, his lieutenant, he was Private Dick Whitman, and his lieutenant Don Draper was killed in front of him when their entire unit was like ambushed or something. And so then Don
grabs the dog tags.
He got wounded, and so they were sending him home, and so he swapped the dog tags so that he could get away from his crap family, who was like super poor and dysfunctional and terrible. Back then it was way, way easier to fake your identity. I guess nobody did photo IDs back then.
Yeah, there was no like tuber web, and like you didn't have driver's licenses.
I mean, you did have driver's licenses. I guess they just didn't have your picture on them.
Oh.
But so now he's a very rich ad executive on Madison Avenue. He's an ad man, and they called them madmen. Do you get it?
No.
And he's constantly bouncing between different mistresses, just cheating on his wife all the time, and sometimes not bothering to hide it because it's the 60s. The show also follows Peggy Olson, who starts out as a phone girl, I think they just call her. She like works the switchboard, and then she gets promoted to Don's secretary, and then she ends up being the first woman copywriter. Don has a lot of family problems. He gets drunk a lot. He gets fired and comes back. There's drama, and Christina Hendricks is in it.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
That's nice. So, all right. So it's the 60s, right? We got that. We can kind of keep that vibe, maybe.
Yeah,
or
keep the 60s.
Keep the 60s, right? And the cigarettes, we'll probably keep them.
Yes, everybody's smoking all the time.
Just constantly. Like in airplanes, too, which is absolutely bonkers. Jeez.
Yeah, their airplane experience looks a lot nicer.
Doctors talk about just eating as much butter as you can get.
Yeah, and oh, dude, there's some weird stuff where, like, so Don has, in season 1, Don has his wife Betty, played by January Jones. He has her seeing, like, a psychiatrist, and after every session, like, they have Betty leave the room, and then Don and the psychiatrist talk about her. Like, it's ridiculous. Just like,
oh boy.
all right, here's the things that's wrong with your wife, and it's terrible.
So the ads.
Yeah, they do a lot of ads.
So is it like a case of the week with the ad where they're just like, we need to figure out how to make people buy surfboard wax?
Not
And then he like backhands the guy and he says like, we don't sell surfboard wax.
not that regular. There'd be like storylines where for several episodes they're trying to land a specific client and then they finally get them. Lucky Strike cigarettes, as you mentioned before, is like their golden goose, who they eventually lose. There's an episode about an office Christmas party where one of their clients, I believe it's John Deere, brings in a riding lawnmower and everybody gets drunk and they're all having a good time and one guy's riding around on it and then runs over another guy's foot with it because the blades are going. Yeah, it's like these weird, crazy things they would do in the 60s before, I guess, OSHA was a thing.
All right, so
there's drugs.
Let's spitball. Let's speed round it. All right, so off the top of my head, I've got some things. Mad Men's.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Men's with like 4 A's.
You just have title ideas, not actual ideas.
Yeah, I'm starting slow.
What if we made it... What about Mad Man?
Mad Man?
Oh, hold up. You know who else is mad?
Yeah.
Max.
Max is pretty mad.
Max is pretty mad. What if Mad Max was a mad man?
What if Max?
Max Man.
Max Man?
Max Men. The most
Max men.
I don't think we need a show about the most men.
No.
Not in today's climate, especially. But what if Mad Max Men?
What if the Mad Men had to pitch to Mad Max?
What if the Mad Men existed in the Mad Max world and Mad Max world had advertising?
Like we're trying to sell spine turbulators.
Exactly.
We need something that says this will turbulate spines.
Are you tired of folding bones by hand?
Well, I see where you're going, but I do want to say that I like the word that I made up, turbulate.
Spine turbulator is very good. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just riffing off of you.
I like this. I think we can go with this. So, this is gonna be. I think we're gonna like Mad Men 2099. Like,
yeah, Mad Men 2099. That's fine, and it's the I guess it has to be in Australia because that's where Mad Max is in.
I guess it's got to be an Australian firm, right?
Yeah. So the firm,
and they've all got to have Road Warrior names too,
absolutely.
Right? No one's named Dave.
So the firm in the original show is first it's Sterling Cooper, named after the two owners, Roger Sterling and Bert Cooper. I think Bert Cooper is this like old man who's very obsessed with like Japanese culture, and so like his office has those like sliding like paper doors.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like Japanese art everywhere, and he makes everyone who comes into his office take off their shoes and stuff. And then Roger Sterling is played by John Slattery. And you know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's funny. I like him. So they get bought by this British company. They send this guy, Lane Price, to like be another board member. And then they learn that the British company is going to just sell them off. And so then they start a new company called Sterling Cooper Draper Price.
Ooh,
so
that's a mouthful.
Yeah. They end up shortening it to SCDP.
Okay.
But so
Spine Cranium Destruction Pros.
Yeah.
You can acronym with me all day.
You're just going off of SCDP.
I'm just going off of it, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you've got Smasher, Crusher, Dropper, Presser.
Yeah, boom.
Draper into Dropper.
Mm-hmm.
Just drops things. You've got, let's see.
Just bodies.
So Slipknot.
I kind of like this. I kind of like the Sterling Cooper model as like a just two names, not like a huge acronym.
First name, second name.
Yeah. First name, second name, agency.
Okay.
So like Stomp Crusher Agency with a hyphen.
Okay,
but
so
better and
hang on.
more.
I need to get more into this Mad Max mindset.
Yeah. I'm gonna Google a list of Road Warrior names.
That's what I want. Mad Max characters. Furiosa, Immortan, Joe. I do love that Max's last name is Rokotansky. It's very good. You've got the Dag. Oh yeah, all the ladies in Fury Road have interesting names. The Dag, Splendid, Rictus Erectus, huh?
Yeah.
Fragile, Toast. These are ladies. The Organic Mechanic.
These are ladies. You have to specify.
The Bullet Farmer. Here's another lady. Her name is Capable. Slit, Imperator, Valkyrie, obviously a woman.
So we're kind of getting, because some of these aren't 100% names, right? Like, so for instance, there's a character named like
Miss
Mudguts.
Giddy. Yes, Mudguts. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
That's
this is the
what
kind
I'm
of
looking
stuff.
for.
There's a character named People Eater. Now that's just straight up.
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Screw
Station
loose.
Master. That's just like a cool like prog rock.
Yeah. I'm the station. Corpus Colossus. Coma Doof Warrior.
All right, so the ad agency is
Cheeto.
like...
Cheeto the Fragile.
Cheeto the Fragile.
Cheeto with a D.
Is that in reference to the corn chip, do you think?
I don't know. It's Cheeto with a D. Crowfishers.
It's with a D?
Curmudgeon. Fifi McAfee. What?
I think that's just a name. All right, so... Oh, boy. We have options. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, verbs and adjectives and nouns, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with, like...
Tenderloin.
Yeah.
That's Tender
Loin agencies.
Tender and Loin.
Tender and Loin LLC. But LLC stands for lying...
No, it's
limited liability company.
No, it's a limited...
I know, the second L is what's killing me.
What's a weird violent L word?
Limited lacrimosity. What does that word mean?
No idea. Lord Humongous, though, was a guy.
Oh, the L's, Scott. They're killing me.
Laceration.
Limited laceration company.
You don't get too lacerated at this company, but
no.
some.
When you walk out of this building, it's gonna have most of your pieces intact.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be blades in the doors.
There's gonna be some laceration. This is 2099.
So are most of their? So here we go.
Is everybody Mad Max?
Well, they're all road warrior types, of course. Does Mad Max work at this company?
I see. That's what. Okay, does he work at the ad agency, or is he the big fish client? Is he the Lucky Strike?
Well, so this is my question that dovetails perfectly off of that. Is their only thing, like, is all they do coming up with new car things?
And like new weapons.
So yeah, is it all just about cars? Are they just constantly advertising cars? Or, which is actually a thing. That's a thing in the old show where, like, if each ad agency like
did a sphere of business.
It's a big deal once Sterling Cooper finally gets a car company. Are they just like marketing cars all day every day, or are they trying to find, like, we gotta, like, it's always cars. We gotta start getting people to get into other things. Like, I'm sick of all these cars. We gotta be innovative and different.
Like buses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking so much wheeled transportation.
Like, people are just eating people out there, right? Yeah. We got a new thing. It's called goats.
Or what about, like...
Are they trying to bring society to the Road Warrior culture?
I feel like there's a little bit of society
is
there.
Making money.
A little bit of society there, since we've got
because, you know, the classic story about how Listerine invented halitosis, right?
Yeah,
that whole situation.
Yeah.
Are they trying to create problems with Road Warrior society to profit? Are they saying eating people's cool? You could be eating goats, and you know what goats do? They don't claw your eyes out.
Okay, that sounds like a real problem that they are solving, though. That's not so much a made-up problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if they'd see it that way because
That's
true.
They'd be all like,
his father's father. They've all got claw marks on their faces from eating people.
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden, you know, there's an ad that's run by what is the company's name? What did we just say?
Tenderloin.
Tenderloin LLC is now saying, they've got a woman up there, and the woman says to the man, "Oh, your claw marks are gross to me because they mean that you're not the king of your prey. You let it get some licks in.
Mm-hmm.
You're less of a road warrior. Why don't we eat this goat instead?" And then all of a sudden, people are saying, "Wow, my claw marks aren't cool."
Yeah, they talk. Are they gonna like talk regular, or are they gonna talk like weird? Because everybody in those movies, they've got like weird childish words for things.
Yeah, this is tough.
Let's brainstorm. What are some let's brainstorm things that they're selling. What are some products? I mean, we got the spine turbulator, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, murder isn't going away. That's the thing.
Murder's
right?
not going away.
Spine turbulators, they're getting pushed hard.
Yes.
You got to get those spines turbulated.
That's the lucky strike. That's their bread and butter is turbulators.
The turbulators.
The turbulator 7K. The turbulator
1000
with horses. Horsepower.
With horses. Like a horse-powered turbulator, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Get your team of 4 hitched up to that turbulator.
I think it'd be car powered because they probably, if there was a horse, they'd probably eat it.
They would eat the horse. Or they would eat the horse.
Yeah, they would eat the horse.
But then there's solar powered turbulators.
They're probably selling
grill rippers.
Grill rippers and
like rippers for the front of your grill, but it's also a name for a tool that rips the grills off other cars. There's two different things, you
gotta rip the car grills off.
Yeah, it's just one of those. No one thought of a second name for either of them, so it's grill ripper. But it's either a ripper for your grill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got those guys on the big long poles.
Oh yeah, you got long poles.
Long poles, and
well, they're also selling the poles, right? They've got springy poles. They've got slender poles.
Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of things that are just the exact same product, just like a different paint job.
Yeah, bells and whistles, right? You got the chrome. Gotta get that chrome.
They said you gotta get that chrome. Lots of chrome, and that's maybe chrome's on its way out, and so they're like, we gotta find something new. We can't. They're pushing off of chrome. Immortan Joe just died. Like they're not into the chrome so much anymore.
Chrome's not so hot.
They're trying to come up with new ways to market water.
Yeah, like Mountain Fresh.
The only water around here. Bloodless water is good.
New bloodless water. Just drink it.
And then later they can bring back Water Classic now with blood.
Now with blood and gut particles.
And the gut particles. Okay, so
and pieces of an intestine.
All right, who are our characters?
I mean, we gotta have Don, right? Only this time he's Fleshmaster.
What if he's Don?
Oh, I was saying that instead of Don or Draper, he's just Fleshmaster.
Yeah, and that's okay. But what if he's like Don Scraper? What if he's just Scraper?
Scraper?
Just Scraper.
Just Scraper. Okay. So Scraper is the head of our company's name?
Tender and Loin.
Tenderloin LLC.
Tenderloin. So Tender and Loin are two characters. Scraper works for Tenderloin. And he's like,
can Tender and Loin be conjoined mutants?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really into that.
It's not like a Master Blaster situation though, where a small man rides a big man. They are conjoined.
No. It's like one guy has no right arm, one guy has no left arm, and there's a flesh tube there.
Absolutely. And collectively they're referred to as Tenderloin.
And they're Tenderloin.
Love it.
And
do they wear suits and stuff, or do they wear like Road Warrior clothes?
I think they wear what Road Warriors think suits looked like.
Okay. So they're
like, they don't have a picture, but they have like an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got armor plates embedded in the flesh, right? But you got the chest piece, you got the arm pieces, and the front of the metal chest piece has like a red triangle on it.
It's
for the
like the tie. Yeah.
For, like the tie. And then some guy Scraper walks into the office one day, right? And the chest piece of his armor is off, like exposing the raw muscle.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, rough night, huh, Scraper?
Yeah, rough night, huh? And he goes, yeah, and he splashes the life ichor onto his exposed muscle because they do that instead of drinking.
One of the things...
Wait, are these even humans?
Yeah, like, there's no not humans in Mad Max.
Yeah.
In one of the things that in Mad Men is that Don has a drawer just full of brand new dress shirts for when he sometimes sleeps at work or when he just has like a rough night and doesn't go home.
He just throws away the old one.
Yeah, exactly, because he's very wealthy.
Yeah. All right, so Don instead has a skin peeler in his drawer.
And
he just rips off the whole first layer of skin and sprays it with Resto juice.
That's not
and gets some brand new skin.
Resto juice is a product, huh?
Is a product that it was their flagship product that they sold.
Resto juice.
Now everyone's got Resto juice.
Ooh, that's so very gross. Okay. And he's working on a contract to try and land Bullet
Try to
Town.
land Mad Max, right?
He's trying to land a client with Bullet Town. Wait, he's trying to land
because
what?
their bullets they need their bullets are doing okay, but they have a new line of bullets that do something, right? There's a new product.
Yeah, I forget what the three places are. There's Bullet Town in Fury Road anyway. There's Bullet Town, and then I think the other one's just called the Citadel, where all the water is, and then I forget what the third place is called, but it's where they make all the gasoline, which they call guzzling. They don't call it gasoline; they call it guzzling.
Yeah. Is it just like Gas Town? Because
it is Gas Town. It's absolutely Gas Town. I'm an idiot.
So Bullet Town is making a new product, right? Where they take small bullets and they just scrunch them up into like bricks, and then you launch that brick, and then it hits the ground. And inside of the brick is like a little capsule that the physical stress of the brick landing breaks the capsule and causes an explosion of many bullets.
Interesting. Okay.
So they're selling their new Shredderator tossable product. But here's the thing: is that it's not doing so hot because when they launched it, people said that's a really expensive brick.
Mm-hmm.
I can just buy like a lot of bullets and get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So now Scraper needs to figure out how to sell these Explodabricks. Explodabricks? I kind of like that.
Explodabricks is pretty good. Explodabricks. And, okay, I want a
company... he has a process, right? He doesn't just immediately have an idea.
No. Don's process is he usually doesn't do anything until suddenly he has an inspiration, and then he's very good at telling the story.
It's one of those, like, he, like, sees... He's like at the park because he just finished cheating on his wife, and he goes to the park.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a bluebird flies by, and he's like, "I got it."
Yeah, he's like, "Picture this: you come home from a lard day. Yeah,
a lard day
is what happened when I tried to say long and hard day at the same time.
But that's just Mad Max language.
You've got a lard day of pillaging and
turbulating spines by hand, like your father did."
And you come home, and the last thing you want to do is
aim and fire, right?
Aim and fire. You don't want to have to aim and fire at your kids or your partner.
Invaders, your cattle raiders. There's no cattle. Your gasoline raiders,
there could
right?
Be some cattle, maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
Over on the hill, you see a raiding party rocking over in their, brand new, tricked out Geo. And you're like, I don't want to have to ready. I don't want to have to aim.
Yeah, I just want to fire. I just want to get rid of them. And so that's where Explodabricks comes in. Yeah, and then it's like, don't just survive. Live.
Yes. Because then once you throw the Explodabrick, your problem's done.
Right.
And now you have relax. All night.
You got the whole rest of your evening to really finish, like, stripping the flesh off of those spines you turbulated earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, really get to your hobbies.
You can go out to that Geo and harvest the parts.
You can take the parts of that Geo. You can take the boy or your son or daughter out on a scavenging mission,
Yep.
Really have your hobbies.
And guess what? On your hip, there's a second exploder brick. Just
2 bricks. 2 bricks, because they're compact and easy to hold.
Mm-hmm. Our patented carrying holster can pocket 2 exploder bricks.
Yes.
Guaranteed to Swiss cheese everybody within 100 feet.
Okay, so then Scraper, I feel like we need some other characters, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Scraper has an assistant that wants to break into the ad game.
Yes, and her name is
Sharon. Her name is Sharon. So they sell Bullet Town, right? Mm-hmm. Now their next client's tricky. It's Gas Town. Because here's what happened. So Gas Town has a new...
Yeah, Gas Town's like, why would we need a marketing company? Like, we're doing great. Everybody needs gas.
And they say, so Scraper can see he's losing them, right? And then Sharon, she knows how to save it.
Yes.
Right? And she just like pipes up. And then Scraper, for the image, he's got to pretend that he brought Sharon like to help pitch.
Mm-hmm.
What does she say? What does she say to Gas Town, Scott?
She says, what happens when Fuelberg starts
ramping up that high-octane mixture?
Yes.
Because Fuelberg can say, we got the flamiest fuel. Look at that fire shoot out your tailpipe. That's Fuelberg fuel.
And they're like, what? Fuelberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they're not concerned about this new upstart Fuelberg, and she convinces them, oh, no, you gotta be concerned about this. This is...
Check out those flaming tailpipes. Look out the window right now. And there's 2 guys on hot rods shooting flames out of their tailpipes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they don't know. They don't know that Sharon paid them to go do that.
They don't know.
But Sharon knows.
She's getting shady and backhanded.
Yeah, she's getting tricksy. She's learning from Scraper how to get the job done.
Yes, and then Scraper, he's impressed.
Yeah, he goes, you got guts and you got guts in you, because I know that, but you got moxie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how about getting those guts ready to go on my next assignment?
And her next assignment is figuring out what's the new Chrome, because Chrome is no longer in vogue. Chrome?
Because you know these are stepping stones, right? They get Bullet Town, they get Gas Town. Mm-hmm. Next up, they have to sell the new Chrome to Max himself. I assume that's where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the final. They got to pitch Max himself on new Chrome. Guess what new Chrome is, Scott?
What's new Chrome?
I don't know. I'm asking you to guess.
The new Chrome is...
Toast.
What?
Toast.
Well, so wait, am I guessing or am I not guessing?
It's bread put out in the sun for 12 hours.
You can't... And they're gonna put that on their cars?
It's everything, Scott. It's gonna be toast.
Everything is toasty. Gosh, that's gonna change the game when they introduce toast.
It is.
Okay.
Buy 3150. All of Australia, toast.
Okay.
All toast, everything.
All toast every day.
Mm-hmm. And you know why? Do you want to know why, Scott? Do you want to know why?
Tell me.
Toast is the new Chrome?
Why is toast the new Chrome?
Tenderloin and Scraper are silent partners that own 90%
of bread.
Of the butter factory.
Oh boy, there's a butter factory now.
There's a butter factory.
And where do they get the butter from?
No new business.
Where do they get the butter from?
Scott, you can't ask these. There's a character that asks that question and dies.
They get scraped. Okay. Yep.
Scott.
What?
Don't ask about the butter. The butter's getting made. Don't worry about the butter.
Okay.
There's a butter factory that's doing very poor business. But guess what, Scott?
Toast.
Toast is the new Chrome.
So instead of saying, I will be shiny and chrome, they talk about being...
edible. Being buttery.
Being scruffy and toasty.
Being safe for the children. You want to know why, Scott? For the children is an emergency panic button where nobody can say no.
So now we care for the oh, that's new. See, that's new to... So I feel like they also have to pitch on why for the children matters.
Scraper and Sharon get together and they invent for the children.
Yes, for the children. They're like, look, guys, the children are not just a tool. They are the future.
You know that thing? He points to like a mutant that's next to a person. He goes, did that come out of your loins? And the person says, yes. And he says, do you know they have half your blood? And the person goes, what?
Yeah.
He goes, they have half your blood. Don't you want to...
They are you. That is the new you.
Yeah.
And if you wish to be immortal, oh yes, they pitch them this weird like immortality narrative.
When you die, this thing that's you is gonna finish being you.
So you gotta be you for you.
Replace the crone with toast.
If
anyone asks how exactly are these two concepts connected, toast and immortality, they go, obviously you don't want to protect your children, right?
Obviously you don't want to be immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's good.
Because we can be immortals. Immortals.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's another guy named, and then board member Blubtubs is like, yeah, I'm into this.
His corpulence raggling as he says it.
Yeah. Ooh, raggling is gross.
That's a word.
Blubtub.
So then we get some, everybody's going nuts for toast. The butter store lining up around the corner.
Yeah, and despite all his successes, Scraper is still unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
He's cheating.
He's not fulfilled inside.
He's cheating on his wife.
Just all the time.
I'm just trying to think of what her name is. Women have weird names in these movies. They're all like...
Schmanuary.
He's married to Grumbo.
Okay.
I guess.
I'll take it.
Sure, yeah. And, he's cheating, and she's unhappy and gets her own stories about how she's unhappy.
And then
she's a show about watching society happen?
She's driving down the road in the car with her kid, and then out of nowhere, and for literally no reason at all, she just like swerves and rams into a fire hydrant, and that's for some reason like a whole subplot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she also like shoots her neighbors. Yeah,
well, that's just getting dinner.
Yeah, that's just life.
That's just getting dinner.
In this universe. I had a question for you, and it was about this. Oh, is this just going to be like a show? Are we just like watching society come to this place through the power of advertising?
Yeah. Essentially, the civilization, not really, because they're still murdering, right?
It's like a
they're
dirty,
just doing
warped
it with toast.
Civilization.
Yeah. This is the new normal, and then the newer normal is toast.
Yeah, and then in season 3, toast is on its way out, and they got to find a new one. Tender is like, look, Scraper, you can't keep coasting off toast. We need something new from you. Like, you've become complacent.
Yeah, and then Loin says, nothing's ever gonna fill the gaping void in your hole.
Are we gonna keep Scraper's? Don Draper's secret past, where he's actually Dick Whitman.
Yeah. Like maybe he's the illegitimate son of the Spielberg guy or something like that.
Or like his family. He comes from like a terrible family, but his family is terrible in that like they didn't kill people and just like grew crops.
Yeah, they're like normal people. Mm-hmm. They like farm. Yeah. I like that a lot because they're freaks then.
And his original name is like Reggie.
Yeah, just Reggie. So then I think in season 2 at some point, right, he's trying to pitch new toast, and he gets a he doesn't get a letter. He gets like a dead body on his doorstep, which normally you just paint the message on their back.
Uh-huh.
But this time it just says Reggie, and then it kicks off a whole, espionage subplot.
I think maybe too, he's probably like scraped himself up a lot at this point, and so he's unrecognizable to his parents, Carol and Dave. And so like in order to get the new thing,
he runs into them in the butter store.
Yeah, and they don't recognize him, and then he decides to exploit their crops for a new fancy thing that he's going to market.
Because new toast, Scott. Guess what it is?
Corn.
It's corn. Me and you, the butter thing, right? It's butter. It's all about butter.
It's all about butter, and he's like, so he gets them to basically like agree to sell all
start
their
growing more
stuff
corn.
and sell
Get all their corn out.
and
Yeah.
like become
Because
like
he
an
remembers from his childhood
exploitative
eating this thing with
business.
butter. It was this hard knobby thing that when you put butter on and you bit into it, it was good. And he was like, what do you do? What do you eat? That's not people.
Yeah, and like they don't recognize him, and then eventually they do recognize him, and he has to basically like he denies it, and then at the last time he sees them, he has a conversation with them where he basically like admits like, yes, I'm him, but I'm done with you. Never talk to me again.
And then he's walking away, but then his mother says, Reggie, and then he turns around
And
silently
scrapes her.
and turns back. Ugh. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to.
We don't have to know. He's Scraper. Why would he turn around if he's not going to scrape her?
I know. I mean, that's fair. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it for it to be what Scraper would do.
Right. Like
And that's what he would do.
At this point, Scraper tells us what Scraper does.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our pitch for Mad Max Men. Mad Men Max?
Mad Max 2099.
Mad Men 2099?
Mad Men 2099.
Mad Men Max. Max is Mad Men.
Mad Men 2099 colon
Max. Mad Max Men.
We haven't had a title with a colon in a long time.
Yeah, we kind of moved away from our giant long
Yeah.
titles. Mad
Max 2099.
Mad Men 2099.
Mad Men. Hold on. Mad Men 2099 colon Max. But Max is in all caps.
Mad Men 2099 colon Max parentheses. This time it's Mad Max time.
Yeah.
Subtitle:
I think we're good.
Scraping the days away.
Scraping the days away.
That daily scrape. The
Both?
The daily.
Like, are you just listing a whole phrase? Scraping the days away, the daily scrape?
9 to 5, scraping all day.
Scraping.
No breaks. No unions.
Wait, hold on. When did we get political?
Just saying how hard the life is. Just want to illustrate how hard it is.
I thought you were advocating union busting.
To scrape in this 9 to 9 world. 9 a.m. to 9 a.m.
I like scraping the days
scraping.
away. Yeah. Mad Men 2099 colon Max subtitle Scraping the Days Away.
Okay, well, I think that's good.
I'm glad we got a title.
I'm glad we got a title. Title is the most important part of a movie, as we all know. Some people do the title first, given that it's the most important part. We don't. And that's the rebootleggers' difference, and that's the rebootleggers' promise, is title last.
Title last.
Except for the time.
Title first,
Except
but last.
Except sometimes where we do the title first. Well, let's scrape it, punch it.
Turbulate it.
What? Turbulate it, shove it into
cram box.
Yeah, I don't want to know what a Mad Max version of a pizza pouch is.
Ooh.
Thank you everybody for listening to Rebootleggers. We appreciate your patronage, and please give us a rating on iTunes. It would help us out a ton. And tell your friends. Until next time, I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sarah.
Frank, what's our password for next week?
Our password for next week is Scrape It.